Hey y'all, it's Dave. I just talked about modifying my lamp. Uh, this is a fixture that we like because it's just real low profile and clean. The power driver would be, or the power supply would get too hot and it would flicker. It's really a manufacturer defect, and I'm sure we could have gotten refunded, but whatever. We have another light that was great but had a plastic lens. This has a nice glass globe, and the other one has a plastic lens. You can look back. I have another video about hacking this one. But the plastic lens cracked, but it still produced light nicely. So I went ahead and switched over the light panels and the power supply. This is a 15 watt dimmable with its own panel, whereas the other one was 18 watts dimmable with its own panel. And the one thing I had kept on this fixture, I sanded a ground and drilled a new ground, because to ground the whole thing. But then I used the wire, the bare copper. See that? I used the bare copper instead of an insulated, it had an insulated wire, yellow and green insulated plastic. So I used this bare copper one, and here's why. Let's say you were switching over a fixture and you only have two arms, two hands. So right now it's here. I just held it up there. I put it on that green screw. That's your grounding screw. Hey, and by the way, caveat, I'm not an electrician. If you're not comfortable with this, hire an electrician. If you are comfortable with it, you probably should hire an electrician anyways. So, and maybe I should. That said, I hang it up, which is not great. You don't want to leave a light hanging from its wires, but that is a ground. And then I'm going to put my two wires together. I'm going to use my wire nut. So I'm not hanging on to my ground, or I'm not hanging on to my fixture while I'm getting these tied together. And then I test to make sure it's a tight one, and then I poke it back up into the box, especially because we don't know how this is going to mount. This power supply is in a different spot than the other one, and a little tighter fit. So and then it's not a bad idea. Some people like to put the two different wires on one side of the bracket, the other. Either way is fine. I'm sure that if I was a real electrician, I'd have an opinion. I think the big thing is, were a wire to fray or get cut, to fray or come loose, a wire nut come loose, then you wouldn't want it to be anywhere near the other wire to spark. But it's worked like this since 1978. And I think we're going to be okay. It's a 1978 build. Of course, you always turn the power off whenever working on electricity, and you test it with your no contact voltage meter. If you don't know what that is, A, get an electrician. B, go to Home Depot. They're really cool. They're cheap. They just look like a little pen, and you can and just test to make sure you don't have any juice going through your wires when you shut off the breaker. So I tuck them up each side. I know nothing's going to pinch. Then let's see, this is and these are from the old fixture. You might see two screws in the ceiling. The old fixture was there for just a little bit. It needed extra support because it was really big and wide and heavy. So, but I wanted to put them where you wouldn't see them. They'd be covered up by another fixture if we switched out our fixture. And after hacking this one back together, there we go. So the hack power supply is a little bit taller than the old one. So I've got a tiny gap. I'm not worried about it hitting the ceiling at all. But that just is what it is. So hold on, let me go turn on the power and get a lens. Okay, turn on the breaker. Thank you. All right, my imaginary assistant is out there, and then here we go. The whole thing spins a little bit because it is on that one screw, but I always do those too much. I'm a little bit worried about them. So let's see if it works. Ta-da! So we've got our old, new light fixture, and the reason we like it is that it's just so low profile. I mean, you can see it doesn't hang down at all. It's just nice, so it doesn't ever crowd your head. You know, the pantry's ceiling is, I can touch it, and I'm not that tall. So what is it, 7 feet? So I don't want to have something hanging down a lot. So the other fixture hung down 5 inches, and this is probably 3, but it's just so much different because this one's all nice and rounded and smooth and white, whereas the other one was a big, rigid chrome bar, and it looked awesome. It looked like it belonged on a boat. So maybe we'll get a boat next time. Anyways, this is Dave. We had a hacked fixture, and we've got a reinstalled. People have said, how do you put up a light fixture? You put it up by calling a trusted, licensed electrician. There's my CYA for the day. Hey, and remember, just like they say with rowboats, you don't need to screw it down tight. Enough is enough.